Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on your own mind. Seriously, there's this hidden framework that shapes how you think, how you talk, even how you dream. It's this fundamental split in how we all make sense of the world, so let's just dive right in. So think about it for a second. How does your brain jump from one thought to the next? When you're just daydreaming or talking. Is it all just random? Or is there some kind of hidden logic, some kind of system running in the background? Well, it turns out our minds are kind of running on this incredible two-lane highway of thought. And here they are, metaphor and metonymy. Now, I know what you're thinking. These sound like terms from your high school English class, right? But they are so much more than that. They are two fundamental forces constantly at work inside your head. On one side, you've got metaphor. That's all about connecting ideas by similarity, how one thing is like another. And on the other side, there's metonymy, which connects things by closeness, by association. And believe it or not, pretty much every single thought you have is guided by one of these two principles. So, who was the brilliant mind who figured all this out? Well, meet Roman Jakobson. This guy was an absolute titan of 20th century linguistics. He's the one who looked at everything from epic poems to just everyday chit-chat and saw this hidden two-sided structure holding it all together. And I mean, this guy got around. His journey took him from Moscow back in 1915 to the intellectual hub of Prague, and then eventually all the way to New York. And in every single one of these cities, he didn't just show up to the party, he started the party. He founded these groundbreaking groups that totally changed how we understand language and the human mind.
Okay, so let's dig into that first pull, and it's one you're probably already familiar with, metaphor. At its heart, it's really simple. It's all about connecting things because they seem similar, because they resemble each other in some way.
For Jakobson, a metaphor is that mental jump we all make when we swap one idea for another because they share some quality. The key thing here is that we're basically saying one thing is something else, just to highlight that connection. Let's look at some examples.
Okay, check these out. When we say someone has a heart of stone, we obviously don't mean it's literally a rock. We're connecting heart and stone through the shared quality of being cold and hard. Or when we say a project is a runaway train, we get it instantly, right? It's not actually a train, but the connection is that feeling of being completely unstoppable and maybe a little out of control. It's all about that link of similarity.
All right, let's hop over to the other lane on our highway of thought. If metaphor is all about similarity, the second pole, metonymy, is all about closeness or association. The fancy word for it is contiguity.
So this is a completely different way of connecting ideas. It's not about what something is like, it's about what it's next to, or what it's closely associated with. Just think of it as a connection based on being close, whether that's, physically in the same space, or part of a sequence, or just really linked together in our minds.
And these examples show it perfectly. We say the crown to talk about the monarchy, because the crown is a physical object that's always associated with the king or queen. Or we'll say the White House issued a statement, but we mean the people inside the building, the administration. Even when you ask someone to give you a hand, you're not asking for their literal hand. You're asking for their help, and the hand is the part of them that does the helping. See? In every single case, it's a connection by association, not similarity.
And right here, this is where it gets really, really cool. Jakobson's big insight was that these two forces, they're not just hanging out side by side. Nope. They are in a constant tug-of-war for control, in our minds, in art, in everything. And depending on the person or the culture or even just the situation, one of these poles will usually be pulling just a little bit harder than the other.
And you can see this battle play out so clearly in the world of art. Take a look at this. You have movements like Romanticism or Symbolism, which are just drenched in metaphor. They use these grand, sweeping symbols to connect you to deeper, abstract ideas. But then you get a movement like Realism, and it's all about metonymy. It focuses on the gritty, everyday details, showing how one thing is connected to the next in the real world, cause and effect.
Okay, so this is a pretty neat theory about language, but why does it really matter? I mean, what's the big deal? Well, this is where Jakobson's idea goes from just being interesting to being, kind of profound. He was making a claim that was much, much bigger than just words on a page.
He believed that this two-sided structure isn't just a language thing. He saw it as a fundamental blueprint for human thought itself. This constant pull between similarity and association, that's how we process the world around us. It's how we organize our memories, and it's even how our brains build dreams while we sleep.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Jakobson himself said that this dichotomy, this split, is of primal significance for all human behavior. So this isn't just some dusty academic theory. It's like finding the source code, the basic operating system for the human mind.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. Just as you go about your day, start paying attention to your own thoughts. When you're trying to solve a problem or tell a story to a friend, which road does your mind naturally go down? Do you tend to build these big webs of similarity, or do you follow these logical chains of association? In that constant battle between metaphor and metonymy, which pole guides your reality?